welcome back to my channel, and today I am going to be reviewing and ranking all of the different books in the A Court of Thorns and Roses series. Now this is an unfinished series and we are hopefully going to get an ACOTAR 6 soon, hopefully next year in 2026, so fingers crossed for that one. But the 5 books have been out for ages and I thought I'd break them down a little bit and rank them because everybody seems to rank them differently, and I thought I'd give my hot takes. So this is my ranking of A Court of Thorns and Roses. Disclaimer, I enjoyed all of these books and I'm not saying that any are bad. Like, I thoroughly enjoyed all of them. I'm just ranking which are my favourite to my least favourite. And these fully got me into fantasy, which I was not expecting whatsoever. And I find myself reaching for fantasy a little bit more, especially the romantasy genre. I never thought that was going to happen. And I'm kind of glad it did because it really opened me up to a whole new genre. So if you are looking to get into the fantasy genre, I would definitely suggest A Court of Thorns and Roses, or maybe Fourth Wing, the series, the Empyrean series, if you wanted to get into fantasy. But for now, I'm just going to talk about A Court of Thorns and Roses. Now, in 5th place for me is A Court of Frost and Starlight. And if you're wondering why my books look weird, it's because I got sent fake books, and I have a whole other video on YouTube if you want to go and check that out as to why I've got different covers and different printing, but we're going to go with it. So my least favourite book of the series was A Court of Frost and Starlight. Now, I see so much hate online on this book, and I kind of get it and I kind of don't at the same time, because this is the 4th book in the series and it's a little novella. I say novella, it is still like a 200-page long book. It's 200 pages, like it's still a decent length book, right? Whilst the others are like 600 plus, so it feels short compared to everything else. And I actually really liked this book. A lot of people are like, I'm not sure, but I actually really enjoyed this one. People say it is a Christmas story, and I have to say I did read this at Christmas, so maybe I'm just like fell into the Christmas trap. But I did also plan on reading this around Christmas time, so yeah. But anyway, this is more of a calm story, as we have in all the other books. We have like a lot of action, a lot of drama, a lot of politics that's going on, and yeah, love that. But after the 3rd book in the series, I was like, oh, my characters need a break, and this is what this book gave us, and I was really happy about that. We got to see them live their little lives. We got to see them have a nice Christmas, you know. It was what I wanted for them at that moment. And also it kind of is a good segue, but because we see like the kind of happily ever after for Rhys and Feyre, but then we also kind of see the introduction of the kind of tension between Cassian and Nesta. What's going to happen in between book 3 and book 5, which are our hefty books. So it's kind of a little segue and then kind of a little pause and a little breather. And low-key, I loved some of the bits in this when Cassian gets drunk. Cassian and Feyre get drunk, and then they put up all of the Christmas decorations up like drunk, and it's a mess, and then Asriel has to come back and fix it all. I mean, it's just great. There's just so many like little things that I just love about our characters that we see in this, and you know, we get to see the lovely love story between Rhys and Feyre, and you know, him not be dead. Sorry, spoiler alert. So this was number 5. Again, I still enjoyed it. I think I gave it, like at the time, I gave it a 4. Maybe looking back, I give it like a 3.5. But that doesn't mean I didn't enjoy it. It just, not a lot went on in the story. So yeah, number 5. Okay, number 4 for me, A Court of Thorns and Roses. Now, I know everybody loves this book, and there is a reason why everybody loves this book. And don't get me wrong, the last third of this has to be some of my favourite in the entire series, I have to say. I did enjoy the Under the Mountain. I loved that bit. The only real reason I'm putting this so low is because it really was slow to get into. And everybody says you need to read A Court of Thorns and Roses and you need to like get through the first like third of the book to get into the story. And they are right. And you know, it's great, and I love this book and you know the world that it opens us into, and I do appreciate its slow pace at the beginning because it is really good at building up this world. Like we have a real vivid imagination, or I did when I read it. I had a real vivid vision of the world and I saw everything very clearly, and I think Sarah J. Maas does an incredible job of that. But yeah, she's with Tamlin and it seems great at the beginning. As we get further into the series, we see Rhys's love with Feyre, and it's just a lot better for me than with Tamlin. But I did really enjoy this book. I did give it like a 5-star at the time. I think reflecting back, I would give this a 4 stars, just because the start was really slow, but that didn't mean I did not enjoy it. I feel like when I put this down, I was like, oh my god, this has opened up a whole new thing for me, and I had to order the rest of the series straight away. I was like, okay. I did not put this down, and this one leaves like a nice place in my heart because it opens up the rest of the series. So yeah, this one is 4th in my opinion. Again, these are just all my opinions. Feel free to tell me that I'm wrong in the comments. Coming in hot with number 3 is A Court of Wings and Ruin. Now, this one I've seen in people's rankings. Some people rank this really high, and I know this is 3rd, and I have a reason for this. I really enjoyed this book. I thought this was really good. The drama was drama-ing. We had a lot of different complex stories going on. The war was, you know, it's called ACOTAR. The war was ramping up. This felt like the most kind of fantasy heavy. It wasn't focused on as much of the romance. It was focused on more of the plot, which I enjoyed. And I think at this point in the story, you're kind of, okay, I have the romance. I want to enjoy the story and I want to see the plot of where this has been going. So I really enjoyed that. I thought the end of this book ripped my heart out into 1,000 pieces. I was like, I was having an existential crisis at the end of this book. Every time some of my friends were reading this after me, and I was like, have you reached it yet? Have you reached the part yet? Like, I was saying, where are you up to? Because I do not want to give any spoilers because it will damage you. And I got a few texts and I was like, they were up to that part, and yeah, they were like, what is going on? I was like, girl, I know, it's crazy. So I did really love this book. I think the only thing for me is that at times it felt really slow. The book is 700 pages long. It is hefty, and I feel like the middle, things were just dragging out a little bit. Yeah, the middle was kind of slow. You know, we got to see some really sad deaths, but I did enjoy kind of the sisters being more prominent in this. I did enjoy seeing their father again and kind of that complex family relationship. I think we saw Rhys's character develop, all of the different High Lords and all the different courts, and I really enjoyed seeing that, and the politics, especially in this. There was a lot going for this book and I still really enjoyed it, and it was great. I think it was only just 3rd on my list because it felt a little bit slow, and I was like, okay, in the middle I was just trying to like get to the point. But I did really enjoy this book, and I think I would still give this a 4.5 star. My second favourite book of the series is A Court of Silver Flames, and as a big sister, I felt this one deeply. Now, I was really skeptical going into this book because I loved my favourite point of view. Like, I really did. And she still is my favourite female character. I do love Nesta, but Feyre is still my favourite. I don't like Nesta. I think she's very unlikable. Why are we having a whole big chunky book about Nesta? Not happy. Wasn't happy. And I started the book and I was like, I'm not sure where this is going, Sarah. I'm not really sure. But I really grew into this book. I actually ended up really loving it and not wanting to put it down. I thought she is the most complex female character that we've definitely seen, and she's not likable all the time. She has flaws, and I think what's so good about Sarah's writing is that she writes characters that are likable or unlikable, but that are really real. Like, you feel like they are actual people. Like, no person is perfect. Rhys isn't even perfect. People have flaws, but she goes into the reason as to why those flaws are occurring. I mean, Nesta has real trauma from her childhood and from also seeing what Feyre endured. I loved her and Cassian's relationship. It was so steamy, and I was not prepared for the steaminess that was in this book. I was like, okay. At some points I was like, I have to put the book down. But that being said, I did really enjoy kind of her perseverance and her character arc I thought was wonderful, and her really trying to mend all of the bonds that she's broken. And it wasn't a straightforward line, and I did really enjoy this. I also enjoyed kind of the plot as well, what was going on, kind of the backstory, but really this was Nesta's story. And yeah, I actually really enjoyed this and fell in love with Nesta, and I was so surprised that I liked this, that I think that's what's made me like it even more. And so this, in my opinion, is a 5-star read. I did thoroughly enjoy it, and it was a great one to end on, and I am ready for the next one, so please give it to us. I don't know whose perspective it's going to be. I'm wondering if it's going to be Elaine's or if it's going to be Asriel's, but I need a new one now. Last and certainly not least, because it is my favourite, ACOTAR Mist and Fury. I mean, this book is just top tier. It's 5 stars. It's 6 stars, if you will. It is the best book in the series, and I don't think you can fault it. I mean, the romance in this, it is Feyre, my girl, and I just absolutely adored every single page of this. The development of Feyre's character and her kind of realizing the world that she's in. We kind of have self-realization in this novel. Everything that we read in the first novel, all the characters we came to love and everything we came to know about the world, it was like, hang on, rewind, you're wrong. That is not the truth. That is the propaganda you've been living. This is the truth. And this is your true love, your mate, Rhys. I think every girl who's read this series wants a Rhys in their life. The romance is amazing. The story is amazing. You have yourself questioning yourself. You get on the edge of your seat. Everything is great about this book. Hands down. Can't fault it. I don't even need to say anything more. It's just so good. As a girly who had never read any sort of fantasy before this, apart from The Hobbit when I was like 10 years old, and to pick up and read an entire fantasy series and not want to put it down was huge. Was huge for me, and I really loved all of these books, and I thought they were all amazing. I thought the stories were incredible, and yeah, it's not the most complex writing in the world. I mean, it's not the most challenging read you're ever gonna have. I mean, if you want something else, go for something else. That is fine. You do you. But if you want just a bit of love, if you want a fantasy world, if you want to escape, then this is such a great series, and I will stand by that. And I think it is such a good one to start going into fantasy with. And now I'm finding I'm like reaching for the fantasy aisle, which I never would have done. Like, I go into Waterstones, I'm like, let me go to the fantasy aisle, let me see what's there. And I will be looking for the next book. I feel like I've said that many times, but I am ready. Bring it on. I'm also wondering about the Throne of Glass series, which is Sarah's other kind of big series, and I feel like it's like 10 or 11 books, which everybody says that once you go from this, you want to go into the Throne of Glass series. So I'm thinking if I should get the Throne of Glass series and which to start with, because this series is very difficult, because it's not, this is like you read one after the other, but there's like a load of different reading orders for the Throne of Glass one. There's like a tandem read. It's very confusing, and I have no idea where to start because there are so many differing opinions online. But for now, I thoroughly enjoyed this series. I hope you pick it up because it was very enjoyable. I'm desperately trying to get my sister to read it, and I'm getting all of my other friends into reading it, and they are loving it. So if you haven't, pick it up. It is so worth the read. And yeah, that is all from my video today. Thank you so much for watching. As always, please like, comment and subscribe. If you want to support me, you can look at my Amazon links and also my Patreon channel for more. Alright, thank you. Bye bye.